Hello, everyone. My name is Travis, and listen, depression has to break off of you. And this happens when your soul is at rest. And this is exactly what Jeremiah 6:16 is saying. So let's go ahead, jump in, and read it. It says, "Thus says the Lord, stand in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths, where the good way is, and walk in it. Then you will find a rest for your souls." So let's break it down. Let's look at two things that this verse is talking about. So, number one, it's talking about the old paths, and some translations say the ancient paths. But in this old path, these are paths that help you to walk closer to Jesus. So there's multiple paths. They're not just one because it's an S, right? There's plural. So these paths are leading you closer into a relationship with Jesus. Now they are considered old, and they're considered old because people have been walking on these paths for thousands of years in order to get into the presence of God, to worship Him, to glorify Him, and just feel that stronger presence of the Lord within them and on them, so that they can do what God has called them to do. So these paths are old. And then the second thing that we have to know is when it talks about rest for your souls. So souls, this is 1/3 of you because you have your spirit, your soul, and your body. And your soul means your mind, your will, and your emotions. And your mind, will, and emotions, your soul needs to be comforted and it needs to be at peace because that's going to destroy your depression. Now, again, for thousands of years, people have followed these old paths. So here are three things that we need to know about these old paths because there is going to be a miracle that will happen. God will destroy your depression, okay? So, number one is the path of obedience that people used to walk on. Now, one of my favorite pastors, Kevin Zadai, he's a powerful man of God. And before he was a pastor, he was a flight attendant for many years. And he talked about the story about how he was handing out drinks to the passengers. And then once he was done with that, he was kind of in that holding or waiting area by the pilots, not around any customers. And the Lord appeared to him. He looked to his side, and there was Jesus standing there. And he could feel his spirit begin to leave his body. And Jesus said to Kevin, "I am so well pleased with you. You're coming home." And Kevin goes, "Thank you, but no thank you. I appreciate it, but I really want to do more for you. I want to speak more to people. I want to have a greater purpose. Like I want to do more." And so Jesus allowed him to stay and didn't take him. And then Kevin, on top of that, was like, "Lord, on top of that, if you take me, they're going to find a dead body here on the airplane, and they're going to be like, God, why'd you kill him on the airplane?" Crazy story. But what was awesome is that Kevin was super obedient, to the point where he said, "Lord, no, I don't want you to take me. I want to do more for you." Kevin had zero depression. Listen, if Kevin had 1 ounce of depression in his body, he would have said, "Lord, take me. I want to go home and I want to go see you. I want to be in your presence for eternity. Take me now." But he didn't do that because Kevin had zero depression, even at his job. So listen, when you are obedient to Christ, what's going to happen is you are going to feel purpose in your heart, in your soul, and you are going to want to live another day because you are helping somebody else. You are making a difference. Obedience is key, and that is going to break off your depression because you are wanted, you are loved, God is using you, and you have a purpose in this world. All right, and then number two there's a path of worship. So we have the path of obedience, we have the path of worship, and again, these are converging. And so worship is really crucial. Why? One of the reasons is because it will decrease your depression. So the National Library of Medicine did a study on people's brains as they were worshiping God. And what they found is that when people were worshiping God or when they were meditating on God, the serotonin would increase, dopamine would increase, the feel good hormones, and the depression would decrease. And then when they studied the brain when people weren't doing that, that wasn't happening. And so, why is that? Why were people happier when they were worshiping God? Well, God designed your body to worship Him. And when that happens, the depression decreases, it gets destroyed, and your body is so happy to be in the presence of the Lord. And then the third thing here about these ancient paths that we need to know is, again, they converge. And they converge, why? Because they're leading you into a greater and deeper relationship with Jesus Christ. And that, again, is going to decrease your depression. So, I once went to this church, and there was this guy there. His name was Tom. He was about in his mid 50s, and he was always happy. He would be the guy when you'd walk into church. He was laughing, giggling, high fiving, hugging, and he was a social butterfly. He was always around people, but again, he was always happy. So after about a year, I said, Tom, can we just meet, like, just one on one? He goes, yeah, absolutely. Let's go get a Frosty. So we went to Wendy's down the street, and finally I had like one on one time with the happiest man in the entire world. And my very first question to Tom was, Tom, you are always happy all the time. How do you do it? What's your secret? And then Tom began to explain how he had really good Christian parents, with good values, and they taught him about Jesus and everything like that. But his answer was about 5 minutes. But at the very end, Tom said, the reason why I'm so happy is because I have a great relationship with Jesus Christ. Listen, that is the key. These paths are converging so that you can have a great relationship with Jesus, that you can walk with him, be with him, talk with him, laugh with him, do what he wants you to do. You're going to worship him and be obedient to him, and you are going to feel like your life has value, your life has purpose. You feel like God pays attention to you, that God is setting you up for success. Great things happen. And when all of that is happening, depression can't live in you. Jesus will destroy your depression. And it all comes down to having that close relationship with Jesus Christ. Now, the last thing here, and this is what Jesus says. He says, my people, I know you are wanting a rest for your souls. Do not stop striving to come after me. Make the necessary changes so you can do all that I want you to do and become all that I have designed you to become. You will see good things, great things, when you submit to me. Do not look down upon the old things of the past, the basic things. I am in all of that. I want your heart. Seek the old paths as you seek me. Prosperity will come. Good things are happening when you come to me with all of your heart. Thank you so much, Jesus, for that word. Thank you guys so much for listening, and God bless.